Voting will take place in 378 assembly seats over 2 states on the 21st of October, when the citizens of Maharashtra and Haryana will choose their next government. Now, these sets of state elections are crucial because they come about 150 days after the BJP won a national mandate in the Lok Sabha election. Not only will these elections serve as a testing ground of whether the BJP has continued to retain its electoral popularity, but will also be reflective of whether a badly decimated opposition has been able to regroup post the 23rd May drubbing they received. It will also give us a sense of whether the slowdown in the economy has had any electoral bearing at all. Joining me to analyze the poll campaign so far in both states and how crucial these results are, today I'm speaking with R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Jha, National Spokesperson of the Congress Party, Smita Prakash, Editor News ANI, and Neerja Chaudhary, Political Commentator and Columnist. Welcome to all of you and thank you for speaking with us today. Let me begin by asking Smita how you look at these elections so far. The elections have widely been described as extremely dull, one-sided campaign, and most people seem to have made their mind up about what the result is going to be like. Do you think this is going to be a no-surprise poll?
All indications are that, you know, the high that the BJP got in the 2019 general election is something that has not withered away, and it will continue into Maharashtra and in the Haryana election. The wave that one saw in 2019 general election is probably going to be reflected even in the state elections in Haryana and in Maharashtra. Surprisingly, in Haryana, where the Congress could have put in all its might, because at one point of time the BJP didn't even exist in this state. The Congress had such a strong hold on this state, and in 2019 you saw that damage terribly in the general election, and it's literally been decimated. You're seeing that Sonia Gandhi is not campaigning at all. Her rally has been cancelled, and it's going to be Rahul Gandhi who will be campaigning. Priyanka did not make an entry into Haryana. Of course, the excuse the the Congress probably gives is that it is Priyanka Gandhi is UP and not Haryana. But the thing is that everybody in the Congress party looks towards either Priyanka or Sonia or Rahul to give that star power, and they have not managed to do that. Whereas, as usual, the BJP has pulled out all stops, and Mr. Modi is doing rally after rally. I mean, one would think that the BJP doesn't need to do this, but it's exactly BJP's way of functioning that every state election is as important as a general election. So it's like all hands on the job. And you're seeing that in Maharashtra through probably Sharad Pawar's last election, and he will probably not be able to form government, because it seems like Devendra Fadnavis, who was like a rank newcomer when he started off, and everybody thought he's not going to make a mark. And there too, Shiv Sena and BJP were pulling at the extremes for a long time, got together for 2019 general elections, and now they are fighting there, and they are probably going to be forming the next government again in Maharashtra.
And let me move to the BJP and the Congress. Mr. R.P. Singh, why the focus on national issues more than local ones? Why the focus more on nationalism rather than the economy from the BJP side? Is it an attempt to make sure that the economy and the slowdown in the economy doesn't become a major national issue, a major issue in these assembly polls?
Well, for you, national security is a small issue. What you say is nationalism is an issue of national security. And for all of us, national security is a big issue. And yes, abrogation of 370 is an issue which is related to national security.
I didn't use the word small or big. I said national issues versus state issues.
Again, I mean, national security is not a state, is not necessarily a national issue. It's as relevant for a state as relevant for the national also. Because a person who's staying in Maharashtra, or who is a person from SR, for example, for him, national security is a big concern. if they are not safe in their home, everything rest is come later. I mean, let's talk about what used to happen 5 years ago before the Prime Minister Modi came in. There used to be bomb blast in Maharashtra. There used to be bomb blast in Haryana and Rajasthan. There used to be bomb blast in Delhi. But it's not happened last 5.5 years now. So this is a change, and then this concerns each and every region in each and every state. But how you take as a national issue? This is an issue which is related to every state.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, Smita Prakash spoke in the beginning of the show on how the opposition seems to have not been able to get its act together since the May drubbing in terms of infighting, especially the Congress facing infighting both in Maharashtra and in Haryana. Do you think there could have been a more cohesive sort of a campaign in the run-up?
Tamanna, frankly, the hype and the hoopla is with the BJP. I mean, I'm not even going to deny it. When you have large sections of the mainstream media supporting a party, that helps the party create some kind of a political narrative. That's a reality, and I don't want to ignore it. Having said that, I mean, the truth is the very fact that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah continue to only harp on national security. Nobody is denying its importance, or Article 370, once again a sensitive issue that is a national issue that needs to be debated at a very different level. But the very fact that they seem to be obsessed with that in Maharashtra and Haryana, which have got multiple other administrative, governance, social and economic dynamics, tells you that the BJP is worried. I can tell you that how well we could have fought, we will get to know whether we have done well or could have done better once the results are counted on the 24th. But I'm seeing people distinctly unhappy with the government of Devendra Fadnavis in Maharashtra. I'll give you a couple of examples. There are, and I don't want to give you too much of data, but 16,000 farmer suicides in Maharashtra. I mean, that would worry any government, no matter how popular they think they are. I mean, Maharashtra, where I live, once upon a time, the most developed, industrialized state of the country, is seeing massive drops in investment. Unemployment, of course, is a raging problem. And there are basic governance issues like in Bombay we talk about, or Mumbai we talk about, like civic infrastructure, potholes, you name it, it's in a terrible mess. So I can see a lot of latent anger. Now, whether that translates into votes despite all of it for the hyper-nationalism, muscular majoritarian pitch of the BJP, I don't know.
Right.
That's what they seem to believe. Our estimation is that's not going to happen. So I think we are confident that we could be in for surprising results when they come out.
Okay, well, before I get RP Singh to rebut, what is your estimation? Because frankly, Sanjay, even on the eve of this election, you're not sounding very confident. There is latent anger, but that anger has not necessarily perhaps reached the point where voters want to switch their choice. That latent anger has to, for the opposition, result in a change in preference of candidate. That last mile connectivity seems to be missing. You have to admit that the Mumbai Congress is in shambles.
Well, I will admit that there have been certain public spats between some of our leaders, which should never have been occurring at all, given the fact that we all knew there was an election happening around the corner. I'm not going to deny it. I just want to let you know that the fundamental issues on which the Congress and NCP has fought has been on things that affect the common man. And the economy, the rural unemployment or the rural distress, the urban unemployment, the collapse of infrastructure, the big joblessness problem. We believe these have connected with the masses. Now, whether we are able to capitalize on that is going to be a function of several other variables.
Yeah.
But we are very confident that because we have fought on what is called the meats and potatoes issues, the common man has resonated with that. Mr. Modi and the BJP believe it's Article 370. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I remain cautiously optimistic.
Okay, cautiously optimistic is what Sanjay Jha says. RP Singh, do you think that issues, and it's not as if people are, may care about national security. Definitely it might be a big issue for people as well, but it's not as if the slowdown, job losses, water shortages, farmer suicides, and all of these economic issues don't matter at all. Do you think they have been adequately addressed in the poll campaign, which seems to only harp on, as you said it, nationalism?
Well, when a panelist say that we are cautiously optimistic, it means they are losing election. I mean, let's be clear on this. Secondly, as far all these issues are concerned, our local leaders are addressing the issues. When Rahul Gandhi goes and speak about Rafale, is he talking about all these issues? He's talking about Rafale, the issue which is dead now. So we are talking about national security as an issue, and which is a relevant and important issue for the country. And there is nothing wrong in it. I mean, if Prime Minister talk about 370 or talk about corruption for that regard. Corruption was the basic issue in the last election, and we have proven that we have given a corrupt-free government. I mean, we have given a corruption-free government there. So there's another issue which is there, which is taking ground in the election. So 5 years of corrupt government versus corruption-free government. There's another issue there. So local issues are being addressed by local leaders, but when the national leaders go, they will talk about the bigger perspective, and then talk about the issues which are related to the nation and which are related to a common man also. When I talk about bomb blast is related to a common man. When there's a bomb blast in Bombay or Pune for that regard, so it's related to a common man also. If there's a bomb blast in Hisar or bomb blast in Ajmer or Jaipur or Delhi for that regard, or in Bangalore, so it's related to a common man also. I mean, you think it's not? I mean, that's your point of view.
You know what it also what it also tells me
to the common man.
No, and it's possibly resonating. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what it also tells me, and let me get Neerja Chaudhary into the conversation. What it also tells me is that even though Devendra Fadnavis for sure seems to be a very popular chief minister, I'm not so sure about Mr. Khattar and how his personal popularity is going to pan out. There is still a lot of dependence on the perception that the Modi government at the center has. And there is still an attempt by the BJP, to ride on that, which is there's no quarrel with that. It's a fair electoral strategy if it works for them. But what does it tell you about what buttons they find will be pushed by the voters?
I think you're right there. I traveled to both states. I traveled parts of the Jharkhand in Haryana and the heartland of Marathas in western Maharashtra, just to sniff the air. And I find what you're saying, 370 is not something people mention to you at all, unless you question them about it, more in Haryana. And there also the point that's gone home to the people is Narendra Modi's leadership being risk averse, tough, able to take strong decisions. That image has got reinforced by 370. Otherwise, nationalism is there, but it's not the major issue. It's very interesting to me, this election being different from the May 2019 election, the Lok Sabha election. People are expressing their unhappiness much more, whether it's about the bank scam which has hit people in Bombay, whether it's the farmers situation, drought, flood, rising prices of food items. A lot of people mentioned that in their conversation. Now, while there's greater expression of this dissatisfaction, they are mostly looking at the BJP and its allies to vote for. Now, the worm is turning, but it's not turning enough. And there, the opposition's lack of coherence, both in Haryana and in Maharashtra. Sharad Pawar is putting up a fight at the age of 80. It's not so much even the case in the ED's case against him, which could have created greater sympathy. It is this 80-year-old man of Maharashtra, our leader, addressing 6 to 7 rallies a day.
Yeah.
In a very adverse circumstances. That's created a kind of a sneaking sympathy. So while the BJP was giving the Congress and the NCP, say, a little bit around 50 seats, whether the NCP will do much better than the Congress. Unfortunately, the Congress has become just a conglomerate of individual leaders, senior leaders fighting valiantly in their constituencies respectively, but there is no counter blitz by the senior leadership of the Congress campaigning, whereas Amit Shah goes to Prithviraj Chauhan's constituency, Narendra Modi goes to Udayan Raje Bhosle's constituency, who's recently joined the BJP. I mean, they are really like leaving nothing to chance. here is the Congress leaving their leaders to fend for themselves. So there is greater fragmentation in the opposition and greater hopelessness evident in the Congress party. Those are the things that are coming to the fore as you move through these areas in these two state elections.
Smita, the other thing that is important to note.
Can I add something?
Sure, Mr. Singh, but let me just get a quick word from Smita. And then I'll come to you for an analysis on board. Another thing, specifically in Maharashtra, in the two alliances, is NCP going to become the primary opposition party post these elections versus the Congress? And in the other case, has the Shiv Sena completely ceded the big brother spot to the BJP? So another very important factor to look out for, apart from what the actual result is.
Absolutely, I agree with both of what you said, that the Congress is completely fragmented. It has ceded to Sharad Pawar. In one way, I would say that I kind of agree with Neerja when she says that, here is a man who's putting in his complete strength at, an octogenarian and fighting it out so much. And then you have the Congress party, they have youngsters who are bickering between each other and not really getting together for a larger cause. Just goes to show that the Congress lacks the will. You spoke about last mile connectivity. There is zero connectivity, not just last mile connectivity in the Congress party. And the reason why the BJP is going from strength to strength in all these state elections and in the 2019 election is because of the complete decimation of the Congress party. They just haven't got there. Where did you see this manthan? This looking at what we did wrong. They still haven't got their president. They just have an interim president. And she is unwell. She is unable to campaign. And then, you're seeing a half-heartedness. So I agree with you that, it will be Sharad Pawar probably. And another thing which a lot of feedback that's coming is that as far as Sharad Pawar is also concerned, the Maharashtrians have a lot of awe and respect for this man. Yeah. They respect him for what he has brought to the Congress, to the state, and respect for what his political career has been. But they don't see him as somebody who can deliver for the state. Somewhat like what Karnataka had for Deve Gowda, part of Karnataka. He couldn't even win his own seat, Deve Gowda. So, and neither could his family. So for Sharad Pawar, he's people will respect him, but will not give him the mandate for being the ruling party there, just the opposition. As far as the Shiv Sena is concerned, you saw what Aditya Thackeray had said, that kind of an acceptance that they really are the smaller party now.
Yeah.
For him to say that, for a Thackeray to say that, it requires a humility which is quite evident now, and a change in the Thackeray political manner also, when you see Aditya Thackeray somewhat taking over the reins of the party and kind of figuring out or being pragmatic about their position in this coalition.
Absolutely. R.P. Singh, you wanted to come in to some of the points that Neerja made, and I'm sure you want to comment on how this seems like a pitiful fight has been put up.
I want to say something, please.
Yeah, but does it take away from the fact that economic issues perhaps have not been adequately addressed in both states in terms of campaign?
Well, where I wanted to bring another point where Neerja was mentioning, she spoke about the Jat line in Haryana, and I'm sure, this complete debate is focused on Maharashtra, where we are missing Haryana.
No, absolutely.
Haryana is another state where Congress has been there for ages, and also, Neerja, you are forgetting, there were 70,000 people who were employed by the state government, not a single issue of corruption. The earlier leaders are been tainted on these issues. There are cases like Huda on corruption. The Chautalas are in jail because of corruption, and in employment cases, and in all those government employment cases, they are in jail. So this is a big factor. I have just traveled to Hisar yesterday only, and I was in Rohtak also. people speak high of Manohar Lal Khattar's governance. They say that we have not seen in so many years that is not a single issue of corruption. And then when you are giving employment to youth in the government jobs, and such a transparent, transfer posting, people speak about that it has been such a transparent way of running a government, and that everything is posted on a portal, and then it moves according to your marks on the portal. What weightage you have on the portal.
Okay.
So there's a difference people assess, and as for development in the state, I'll appreciate. Go and check Haryana today. Haryana is today itself it has been now among the top 5 states in the country today.
Okay, wait. Sanjay Jha wants to come in. Sanjay, you want to rebut some of the points made over there, and just the general issue. Before I come to Sanjay, I just want to the point that you made that people are unhappy. I want to take the case of the PMC Bank, and not just to focus on Maharashtra again, but now there is news that 3 depositors have lost their lives. There's no way to assess how it was related to PMC Bank, but they have lost their lives. There have been depositors, begging to get their money back. And in their anger, what they said is that we will not cast our vote this time. Even then, in all their distress, Sanjay Jha, the fact that they're not saying that we will vote for the Congress or the NCP instead of the BJP should be a warning sign, isn't it?
See, Tamanna, let me put this up front, that, the issues in Maharashtra that affect the common man. You mentioned the Punjab and Maharashtra cooperative bank scam, where the BJP leaders have a very close affinity with those who are the board of directors in the bank. So while some anecdotal evidence may be there where people say we don't want to vote because we are disillusioned with the entire political system, the anger is against the BJP. And I can tell you, no matter how much the BJP beats its chest, none of the people who are ordinary depositors today who are feeling very insecure are going to vote for the BJP. The water crisis in Vidarbha, Marathwada is an extreme, I would call as a dangerous level of crisis as we talk. The so-called, he talked about sorting out the Jal Vihar program, yes, was nothing but a Congress NCP program rebranded, where now there is a tanker mafia, there's a tanker scam going on there. Okay. As far as corruption in Maharashtra is concerned, there is a Eknath Khadse to Pankaja Munde to Girish Bapat, to Prakash Mehta. There's a whole list of corruption issues here. So I think at the end of the day, anyone who underestimates the Congress and the NCP does so at their own peril. I believe there's a surprise in store. It is going to be a result that I will believe, and because based on our experience so far, is the fact that this will translate into votes for the Congress and the NCP. Okay, now, as far as the BJP is concerned, therefore, it poached people from both these parties. Because if you are on such a strong wicket, why would you try and buy out people or, threaten them and bring them into your party?
There's a line outside the door. There's a line outside the door, but you brought up a very important point, and I just want to get a quick word from both our analysts on it. Smita, the crossovers to the BJP from opposition parties, I think they have a situation where they're going to have to turn people away. The number of politicians who have now jumped ship to what they seem as a very lucrative position. I'm not sure why the BJP is taking all of these people on board.
Yeah, so basically it's the same move which the BJP has been going on talking about of Congress Mukt Bharat. So they have their doors open and they will take in anybody and everybody who wants to come in. Some in the BJP also feel a little uncomfortable about it because some of the people who are coming in come with a lot of baggage. But I think what the BJP says is, or thinks some of the people in the BJP think is, that when you enter the BJP, you put your baggage out and then come in. That's their way of making sense of it. Some of the points which I would like to talk about is that, local issues in state elections matter a lot. As Nija said, as Mr. Jha said, that, whether it is your farm loans, whether it is the banking mess, whether it is the slowdown in the economy, whether it is joblessness, these are things which ought to and which do hurt. So, there are many people who would be angry, and that anger should translate into votes. It should, in both the cases, in both the states, there should be an anti-incumbency on these matters. What happens is that when you speak to the voters, whoever is angry, they might be angry with the ruling party about all these matters, but they don't see the Congress as providing an option.
Yeah.
हमको यहाँ सड़क चाहिए, हमको यहाँ नौकरी चाहिए, हमको फला jobs नहीं मिल रही हैं, but they don't see Rahul Gandhi as an option. They don't see Sharad Pawar providing them the jobs. They don't see that the road will be constructed, that the jobs will be there, that the farm loans will be waived off. They don't see the Congress party as an option. That is where the translation of that anger into votes is not happening vis-a-vis the opposition, and they have more faith in continuation of the party. Another little point I want to make is, you know, when they keep talking about corruption, the BJP has not referred to Robert Vadra in an Haryana election. Please note that just a couple of days left for campaigning, and no mention at all about Damadji, which the BJP used to do. Nothing about that sort. They have not put that man in jail. They have not done anything about that, and the Congress has not brought that up in their campaign.
A very, very interesting point and observation there. So I'll give the last word to Neerja Chaudhary.
I think, you know, it is very interesting that the BJP has a perspective of at least 20 to 25 years. If you talk to them privately, their leaders, they don't have next 5 years, next 10 years, 20 years, we have to be in power. This is the direction we are going. 24, who's going to come? 29, who are the possibles? What are we going to be doing? Core agenda. And, you know, it's moving in that direction. Devendra Fadnavis and ML Khattar, when they came in, they belonged to what was considered the politically wrong caste. A Punjabi in Haryana instead of a Jat, Brahmin in Maharashtra, only 3% as compared to 35% Marathas. And they faced agitations when they, you know, very quickly into that Jat protests in Haryana, Maratha protests in huge Maratha protests in Maharashtra, and yet they managed to handle it. And what was very significant to me is the complete backing that the High Command gave these men. There is all the factionalism in the party, and today they are the ones, despite anti-incumbency of 5 years, they are firmly in the saddle, and most of us even saying, why go to the field and see what's happening? Anyway, it's a foregone conclusion what the results are going to be. Therefore, I think, and the complete continuing deterioration in the opposition, the worrying part of Indian politics, Indian democracy today is that you need a strong opposition in the face of the challenge that the BJP is mounting, and you have an opposition that's collapsing. And these two state elections are reinforcing that point. That's the larger message that's coming across.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see, of course, what choices voters make, because preempting or taking for granted what citizens think is a mistake, which I'm sure no politician will make and no journalist should make either. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the debate this evening. And just a quick programming reminder here on voting day, on counting day, if you want to understand what these elections really mean, go through the numbers in a calm way with seasoned faces, do join us on ET Now. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.